Now. Atrophy. Fight more! Is it a chase? Not yet. Oh, such death.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is going to be a build guide for our Duelist Champion Ballista build. So we are going to be using Shrapnel Ballista on this build. This is actually a friend of mine's build and he let me jump into it and play it this league. I have fell in love with this build. I've had a blast with it. If you're looking for something to be kind of speedy, just throw out ballistas behind you and keep going. Has a good amount of life, so we're over 5,000 life. Somewhat tanky, not super tanky, but survivability is pretty good on it, and really good boss damage, I feel like. And I'm currently only level 85, so I haven't even hit the full potential. But just leveling it, it goes through levels really smooth. You get Shrapnel Ballista early on in the game, so it makes going through the levels pretty quick and pretty easy. I didn't have any kind of trouble whatsoever getting through any of the bosses in the main storyline, and we are going through the map right now and doing some Maven. Done a little bit of delving with this character, and so far it has been an absolute blast. So a huge thank you and a shout out to Daredevil Fanboy. He made this build. This is his build 100%. And like I said, he let me play it this league, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So I wanted to. I asked him if I could do a video on it and share it with everyone else, and he agreed. So I just want to make sure that he has the credit for it. And like I said, let's jump into it. So we done the Duelist Champion as the base. Now this build, compared to the Elementalist, this one does have a large cluster and two medium cluster jewels in it. Let's go ahead and jump into. I'm going to go through the choice as far as the Ascendancy, just to get that out of the way pretty quick. So after we picked the champion, the very first one that we went with was Master of Metal. And then on your second Ascendancy, we went to Unstoppable Hero. Third is Fortitude. And then to round it up is Conqueror. Of course, you can kind of change those around if you would actually like to take Unstoppable Hero and Fortitude first. I completely understand. But that's kind of the direction that how we took it, or I took it. The Pantheons will be Lunaris and Relikesh. You do want to go ahead and kill all three of the bandits for the 2 extra passive points. Like I said, he went ahead and went to 100 just to kind of give a full build scenario. So at 100, this would be your full skill tree. So let's jump over and take a look at the skills that he has set up for us. So we have Dash, Blood Magic, Faster Casting, and Withering Step. Shrapnel Ballista is your main damage, or pretty much all of your damage. So you have Shrapnel Ballista, Brutality, Impale, Pierce, Vicious Projectiles, or Awaken Vicious Projectiles if you're able to get a hold of it, and Main. Followed by Immortal Call, Increased Duration, Cast when Damage Taken, and Sniper's Mark. Sniper's Mark, it has been a huge help, especially with bossing. Last, we have Dread Banner, Precision, Clarity, and Herald of Purity. Herald of Purity has also been a huge help with just clearing out mobs, so that's a great one to have on the build. As far as the items for the build, the most expensive thing is actually going to be your Assassin's Bow. It's the only 6-link build, or the only 6-link item on the entire build. So that's going to be your Ballista Arrow, or your Ballista towers right there. So that's the only thing you have to worry about is getting 6-link. You have a really cheap quiver. The helmet is, I don't think the helmet's too awful bad. I think I spent about 20-25 chaos as far as the helmet. Just make sure when you're picking up the devotion to try to find the Shrapnel Ballista fires 1 additional arrow. Calm's Heart for the additional life and a good boost to armor. And then your gloves, you're just looking for extra attack speed, projectile damage, life attack leech, and accuracy. So those are the main things. This is just kind of the gloves that he had found, so he went ahead and added these in. The boots, you're mainly looking for resistances, including some life and evasion and armor. It's also really good if you can pick up the 10% reduced mana cost to skills if you've been hit recently. Next up will be the Amulet. This is also going to be big for your resistances. Also look for some life, some mana, and physical damage to attacks. This one has strength and intelligence, which I think I actually ended up with a intelligence and dex on mine. I just needed to add a little bit extra dex. The rings is going to be your biggest points for all of your resistances, so make sure you get try to get high resistance rolls on all of those. This one does have the mana and life, and also increased damage. And then the last one is more resistances, including some life and intelligence. Perseverance for the belt. Pretty. I didn't have any problems picking that up. I think I spent right around 10 or 15 chaos on the belt. Like I said, the bow is going to be your most expensive item. I haven't currently picked up the bow. I believe a six link right now is running around 9 or 10 assaults. So I'm just getting up my currency right now to go ahead and purchase that. Um, so we have the Blood of the Curie as our main life flask and the Spirit as our main mana flask. And then we just look for a Chemist Diamond Flask of Staunching just to stop bleeding, and Chemist Sulfuric class of Heat. Um, the Dying Sun Ruby Flask will round out the flask. And like I said, as far as the cluster jewels, um, this is the only thing I changed from the skill tree that he gave me. Is I actually picked up this cluster jewel here, and it had these three passes on it, so it did help a little bit, just having the extra passive. The original only had two passives, but if you can get your hands on three, these are the three that I went with. Not necessarily, you don't have to have these three. You can go with something else, but if you can, these has worked out great so far. And then as far as the medium cluster jewels, you're just looking for one that is increased projectile damage with two passives, and then the other one is going to be the increased totem damage with two passes as well. Um, I don't believe I actually have the same passives on the cluster jewel for my totem damage as he has in this. Like I said, as long as you get something that works, that will work well, it doesn't have to be the exact same passives that's on the tree here, or that's on the cluster jewels. But yeah, the so far the build has been absolutely great. Haven't had run into too many problems. We do play in a group, and I will say that it is great playing in a group with other people. You get through and really start taking down bosses and everything fast. Right now, I am currently in. I think I'm around tier 7, tier 8. I have done a few tier 9 maps with this build so far. Like I said, I'm only level 85, so I'm still also working on gear. Um, Oh, I almost forgot. You would also like to get steadfast on your amulet if you're able to, because um, that will give you the additional increased armor while fortify, the effects of fortify and fortify while stationary. And it does say you'll be stationary just short periods of time when you're throwing out your ballistas anyway, so that does help as well. But yeah, that's pretty much a wrap up on the build. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, the build has been an absolute blast, and again, I want to thank my friend Daredevil Fanboy for making up the build and allowing me to play it and make the video for you all. Um, One thing about the POB, and a lot of people already know this, the damage calculations for shrapnel ballistas are kind of. I know it will look very low. It doesn't calculate the shrapnel ballistas correctly. So you're throwing out seven, I believe it's seven ballistas. Um, it's going to be a much higher than 61,000. Um, but that's kind of where it's showing in here. But trust me, it is way higher than that. I'm not going to say how much. I really don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to really try to do some figuring on that. But like I said, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you did like the video, please throw a like, subscribe for other videos.